Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NFL video. We're going to go over all the sides, totals, and spreads for all the game for this week. Merry Christmas Eve. If you don't watch this video, then I don't blame you. Go hang out with your family. But if you have some time and you're interested in betting this week, like me, then go ahead and take a listen and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, so first, a quick recap of last week. We did not do so well, 8-8 on the money lines. And then this, we just missed so many things. It's getting to the end of the season, you guys. It's getting a lot harder to call some of these games. So I definitely don't recommend the game, like betting on the games that you don't feel good about. But I'm still going to give you my leans and picks for every single game. So we did get one push on the Giants spread. And then our bets actually turned out pretty good. So we only missed 3 legs on the super teaser, which was awesome. And then on the game bets, the stuff we actually put our money on, we came out slightly ahead, but not a lot. So we got the Pittsburgh +7, we got the New England +3, New England on the money line, Chargers on the money line, but unfortunately we missed our money line parlay. We missed the total for Green Bay and Chicago, but I mean, who could have foreseen some of those injuries? And then the Giants did not get the win against Minnesota, which was disappointing for me because I bet on them. All right, going into this week, no touchdowns, no player props last week. So getting into this week, Dallas at Washington on Christmas. The Cowboys always get up for these holiday games, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So I do expect the Cowboys to win. They have won 7 out of the last 9 games of head-to-head with this team. Totals have been over 47.5 in the last 5 games, which is going back to November 2023. The Cowboys are scoring a little bit better at home, but they're still scoring 26 on the road. And the Commanders are allowing that. So 26.9 is what they're allowing. And the Commanders are only scoring 23.7 at home. And the Cowboys are allowing 30. So basically, whoever wants points in this game is going to be able to get points. My issue here is that Marcus Mariota, if he's not going to be the quarterback, then I don't know if the Washington Commanders can get very many points up on the board. But I think they'll get some. So I do think Dallas money line, Dallas -7.5. And I actually think you probably could bet on the -7.5. I'll think about it. And then in the super teaser, I'm going to take Dallas first team to get to 20 points. I don't know if the Washington Commanders can even get to 20. And then Dallas -1.5 in a teaser, I think, is a good bet. But I think the -7.5 is probably okay too. All right, Detroit at Minnesota. So this game matters kind of more to the Lions, I guess. The Lions have to win their next 2 games and have the Packers lose their next 2 games, and then I think they get in into the playoffs. So they are going to try to win this game. The Lions have won 5 out of the last 6 head-to-heads. The Vikings did win this year, however, in Detroit. So that was kind of a surprise since the Lions have won all their home games in these head-to-head matchups going back the last several years. High totals in Minnesota between these 2 teams. So that is why we're seeing 43.5. I guess that's not too high. I think it can go higher. The Lions are scoring 27.4 in away games, and the Vikings are allowing only 17.7. So those 2 units are going to have to go head-to-head, and one of those is going to win out. The Vikings are scoring 23.8 at home, and the Lions are allowing up to 27. So even with Max Brosmer, I think that the Vikings are going to be able to score. So I'll take Detroit on the money line, Minnesota on the spread, but I don't feel confident about any of those. And then I'll lean towards the over as well. I think Detroit in a teaser or just Detroit money line parlay, I think that is the way to go with this matchup. For the super teaser, we'll do the Minnesota team total over 12.5. All right, Denver at KC. I'm backing KC for the 3rd week in a row. They're going to let me down again probably. But this is just too many points to lay like with the Broncos. I'm not laying 13.5 points. They let everyone stay close with them. They almost lost outright to the Tennessee Titans in week 1 at home. So I know the Kansas City Chiefs are beat up. I know I just saw that they put someone on IR. I think Rashee Rice got put on IR this morning. So, I mean, they're beat up. Obviously, they don't care to win the game. But I just think that they'll cover this spread. And then at the money line, 675, I'm going to sprinkle on that just because the Broncos don't score that well in away games. They're only scoring 21.6. Chiefs are allowing only 15 at home. So I know they're not going to play to the best of their ability necessarily, but 21 might be the limit that we see from the Broncos, maybe 24 at the highest. And the Chiefs are scoring pretty well at home, 22.5. Broncos are allowing 19.7. So I think it's just going to be closer than people think. Definitely within the spread, which I'll be betting on. And I think there's a chance that Kansas City could win the game, which is, I know it sounds so crazy, but I'm just going to sprinkle just a tiny, like, couple bucks on the money line just at that price, 675. I know it's crazy. For the super teaser, we'll do Kansas City team total over 7.5. And then Houston at the Chargers. I think this will be a very good game. Both of these teams want this game, and both of them need it, really. So I think it will be one of the best games on the slate. Houston's scoring 19.7 points away, and the Chargers are allowing 20. And the Chargers scoring 23.3 at home, and the Texans are allowing 15.3 in away games. So I think this is going to be a very tight, right around 40 for the game total. So I think that Vegas did a great job with that number. I'm ultimately going to lean towards the Chargers on the money line, Houston on the spread, and then over 39 and a half. This is what we did in the Seattle Rams game, and we hit both sides. So we hit Rams to win the game, and then we took Seattle plus 1.5 when they were the underdogs, and we hit both of those. So for the super teaser, we're going to do Houston over. The total for the whole game over 30.5, and then I think Houston in a teaser makes sense. So Houston plus 7.5 in the teaser. Baltimore at Green Bay. These two teams are kind of the falling apart towards the end of the season. I don't know if Jordan Love's going to play or not. And then Lamar obviously has his issues. Tyler Huntley is a decent backup, though. In this series, the Packers have kind of won it. But the Ravens are actually playing better in away games on defense and on offense. So that is kind of interesting. The Packers limit points at home, but they also don't score as many points at home. So I think this is going to be a bit of a lower scoring game. I'll lean under the 40.5 total. And that is where I feel most confident, is leaning under on the total. But I'll take Green Bay on the money line and Green Bay -3 to win the game because they need it. I don't know that the Ravens really need it or want it as much. And then for the super teaser, we're going to do the Packers plus 5.5. All right, Arizona and Cincinnati. The past two times these teams faced off, the away teams won, which would be Arizona. But the spread's 7.5 towards the Bengals, and I agree with that. Ultimately, I'm going to take the Cardinals, though, to keep it close. I think this could either be a huge blowout by 20 plus points, and either way, it really wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals won this game by 20 points. Also wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals won this game by 20 points. So I'll just take the underdog on the spread. But I think the Bengals will win the game. So Bengals on the money line, Arizona on the spread. I'm going to take the under 52.5, actually, just because it's a really high number. I think they could easily go over it, but I'm not going to bet it. All right, and then for the super teaser, we'll take Arizona plus 17.5 with an extra spread, basically. All right, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. This game's going to be disappointing, I think. I think we see kind of a lower scoring game, but not as low as people think it might be. 19-17 is what I see here, so both in the teens. Home teams have won the past 8 head-to-head matchups, which is a little bit crazy. Steelers are scoring 24.3, but the Browns are only allowing 19.4. The Browns are only scoring 19 at home, and the Steelers are allowing 25.3. So it seems like the Browns should actually win this game based on the data, but they're pretty beat up. So they lost Quinshon Judkins. Their offensive line is pretty beat up. So I just don't know if Shador can make it happen without one of his best players in Quinshon Judkins, and then behind that offensive line that was already bad and now a little bit banged up. So I do think that I want to lean that way, though, because they are playing at home and the data supports it. So Cleveland on the money line, Cleveland on the spread, over 33.5, barely. And I think those are all bettable, actually, but I think it's iffy, kind of be prepared to lose your money on that one. So in the super teaser, we'll take Cleveland plus 10.5. And then I am going to put them Cleveland in a teaser and bet the money line, just a little bit of a sprinkle. All right, New Orleans and Tennessee. Both of these teams in the past, the home teams have won. So that would be Tennessee. Both games were close that they played recently. They're both scoring about 17 and allowing about 26. So data-wise, they're like exactly the same team. Ultimately, I do think Cam Ward is a better quarterback than Tyler Shuck. I think Tyler Shuck's weapons might be a little bit better, though. Through the air, like Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson have proven to be really good pass catchers. And the Titans are doing what they can with what they have, but I think they could win this game. And so I'll lean with them. They are the underdogs. So Tennessee on the money line, Tennessee on the spread. I'll take the over 39.5. And then for the super teaser, I'll take Tennessee's team total over 13.5. I think they're worth putting in a teaser, 8.5, and then the money line plus 124. Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Jaguars have won the 4 out of the 5 past head-to-heads, and that's when they weren't necessarily that good. Colts won at home last year by 2. So it was close when they played in Indianapolis. But the thing is the Jaguars are like kind of at the top right now, and the Colts are fading more and more every week. So Jaguars are scoring 25.6 in away games. Colts are allowing 34 in the last 3 home games. So I see 27-21, somewhat close, but not within barely at I don't know, maybe we're closer to a touchdown than a field goal, I think. So Jacksonville on the money line. I'll take Indianapolis on the spread, but I'm not going to bet it. And then under 48.5. And for the super teaser, Jacksonville plus 2.5. Tampa Bay at Miami. This is one of the games I'm the most confident about, so probably I'll lose it. But I think the Bucs need this game. So if my math is right, the Bucs need to win this game, and then it comes down to next week with the Panthers on who wins the division. So I like them on the money line. We're going to put them in a money line parlay. They've won 6 out of the last 7 head-to-heads, so the data supports it. The Bucs are scoring 21.5 in away games, and the Dolphins are allowing even more than that. The Dolphins are only scoring 21 at home, and the Buccaneers are allowing 25. So this could be a competitive game if both teams wanted it. I just don't think the Dolphins care or want it, and the Buccaneers definitely do. So I'm going to side with them. I'm pretty confident about it. We'll throw the money line in the super teaser, but I'm also going to be betting it in a parlay. New England at the Jets. I do expect the New England to win. They're trying to get that for the number 1 seed. They need both of their next 2 wins to get that. And technically, they could still lose the division to the Bills, if I'm not mistaken, if they lose out and the Bills win out. Patriots are scoring pretty well, 27 points. Jets are allowing that. Jets are only scoring 18. Patriots are allowing that. So let's just go 24-17, 27-17, somewhere in that range. Maybe the Jets don't even score that many points. So we'll take New England on the money line. I'm leaning towards the Jets on the spread, but I'm not betting it. And the under 42.5. And for the super teaser, we'll take the New England team total under 34.5. Not because I think they can't score that, but just because I don't think they need to. All right, Seattle at Carolina. This is the other game I'm very confident about. I think Seattle will win this one because I don't think Carolina cares. I mean, they're going to try, obviously, to win it. It's at home. But they just only care about next week. So next week, they're facing the Buccaneers for the division. And I think that they're going to completely look past this game. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. They don't care. So we'll take Seattle on the money line. They play better away anyways. They're scoring 30 points in away games. Seahawks have won the last 4 out of 5 head-to-heads, and they only lost the one at home. So they've won all the away games in the last 5. So yeah, I love Seattle. We'll throw them into money line parlay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, Giants and Raiders. Last time I backed the Giants because they were at home. Now I'm backing the Raiders because they're at home. So hopefully that's not a bad choice because it was last week. But the Giants are scoring 20.9 and so are the Raiders, like 17.9. And then they're both allowing about 23. So I see it as a pretty close game. The spread is 1.5. I'll just side with the home team. Raiders money line, Raiders plus 1.5, and the under 41.5. And then for the super teaser, we'll take the Raiders up to 8.5. Philly and Buffalo. The Eagles have won the past 3 head-to-head games, including, I think, 2 in Philly, 1 in Buffalo. The Eagles are, I think, playing better all around football right now, but I think the Bills need this game more, and they're playing at home. So ultimately, I'm siding with the Bills. They're still trying to win their division, whereas Philadelphia has it wrapped up. And so I'll lean towards the Bills money line, Bills minus 1.5, over 43.5, super teaser over 35.5, because I think both teams will be able to score. You could throw Buffalo in the money line parlay. I think I did do that. Chicago at San Francisco. The 49ers are 3-2 in this series in the past 5. So they've kind of barely edged the Bears out. And the Bears have not been good. And the 49ers have been good. So I feel like they should have a better record against this team. Now that the Bears are playing better and are good, I have to pick them. So Bears plus 3 on the spread. I'll take the 49ers on the money line, but I'm not confident about it. I think both teams are going to be able to score. It's kind of one of those games where whoever has the ball last wins the game. For the super teaser, we'll do Chicago plus 12.5 on a spread. Rams at Atlanta. The Rams won the past 2 head-to-heads. Falcons won the 2 before that. None of those 4 games were close. So it's always been a blowout every single time. I think it's a little different this time. Kirk Cousins is playing for a job. The Rams want this game, and I think they will win. So Rams money line, Atlanta on the spread to just keep it close, and then under 49.5. And if you don't think that they can keep it close, I think you could throw the Rams in a money line parlay if you want to. I kind of like that. All right, here's the super teaser. We only missed 3 legs last week. 2 of our legs are money lines, so you might have to switch those out because some sites won't let you bet money lines in like a teaser like this. So yeah, maybe you can't bet that. I don't know, but there you go. You can take a screenshot if you want. Game bets here. This is what I'm putting my money on this week. And keep in mind, I'm betting on some pretty crappy teams, so you do not have to follow me on it. But I love the moneyline parlay for plus 228. I think it's good value. Tampa Bay, Seattle, and Buffalo. Any one of those teams I think could lose, but those teams, like Tampa Bay needs the win, Buffalo needs the win, and in the Seattle versus Carolina game, which I put Rams, but it's not the Rams. It's Seattle versus Carolina, CAR, not LAR. The Carolina Panthers don't need the game and don't care about it. They're just looking forward to next week. In the teaser, I have my favorite teaser legs over here, just 6-point teaser legs. I'm not going to be playing a teaser because I'm not in a state where I can. And then I'm going to take Kansas City on the spread. That's probably my favorite bet, plus 13.5. And then I'll take them on the money line. I found it at 801. And then Cleveland on the money line, Tennessee on the money line. These are just going to be quarter unit plays, except the spread. I'll put like a half unit on that spread. And then I'll put like a half unit on this money line parlay. I'm not risking a ton of money these last few weeks of the season because it's hard to tell what's going to happen, right? We'll just save it for the playoffs when we know those teams are competing to win. All right, that is it. That's all I got for you. I will probably put out some player props maybe later today and some basketball player props as well for tomorrow. But if you ignore them and just have fun with your family, I don't blame you one bit. All right, thanks, guys.